Well, hello, and welcome to a video that I'm not sure how it's going to work. Um, as I read a story that I wrote going on 12 years ago in my sixth grade year. Uh, Ironically, it became the basis for my world setting. It's kind of cringe, like really cringe, but it doesn't get super cringe yet. Also, it's all in this loose leaf book, so if you hear pages flipping or the sound of the book shaking, I apologize for that. Uh, I honestly do, but I have to read it pretty close to the mic. And outside of that, everything should be okay. So, without further ado, old math notes. Neat. Sure. Why did I use this loosely for both math and my story? So at the end, anyway, I don't even know. The Loner by Dan Keener. Oh God, it starts cringe. Once upon a time, in a world rife with anger and aggression, things were difficult. A lonely man walked along a road alone. His body was covered in a black, hooded cloak. Thanks for redundancy, Daniel. And at his side was a glistening, rusted blade. Those are two words that can't be used together. I really apologize for this. He had been traveling along the thorny and grand road for a very long time. How long, he wasn't sure, but he knew it had been a while. Then why did you... Okay. Get in the mindset of 11-year-old Daniel. He must have found a thesaurus for the first time. His journey had been long and arduous. See, that's what I meant. And he was pondering if he'd ever find it. In around the largest port city, he wasn't sure if it was real. He was sheltered, hidden, alone for a majority of his life. And as he walked and walked, he questioned the faint memories of his village far away. The little girl with the blonde hair that he played with, and all of the people that he left behind when he headed out. Why did he head out? He, once more, could not remember. Something clouded his mind. But that didn't matter. None of that mattered. Perhaps it was the God's will that he forgot, or perhaps he was repressing something. For an 11-year-old, I really liked that thesaurus, huh? And he moved forward until bandits. Typical bandits showed up. Really? I wrote typical bandits? Oh my God, cringe. All right, next page. The leader, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone, said with a heavy southern accent, "You listen up now, son. Give us your gold and we're gonna take your tongue out." What type of threat is that, Daniel? 11 years old. 11 years old. The Loner was quick, quiet, efficient. It wasn't his first run-in with bandits. He wished it was, but it wasn't. With a scraping sound, the blade came out of its sheath. Then how was it glistening? And he prepared himself, confidently saying, "All right then, let's do this." And the peripheral bandits, 3 in total, came at him, their tattered clothes and rags rushing with weapons drawn. Their small knives, I said knives instead of daggers, Jesus, bracing in their hands as they came at him. Redundancy! And they attacked quickly. They slashed and cut and carved, but they couldn't find him. What do you mean by that? Oh, okay, next page? But there's 3... Okay. All right. This is the next page, right? There's some okay. They could not hit him. His blade was too fast. He blocked their weapons quickly and dispatched of them. The first with a slash across the chest. The second a stab, pulling the bade, pulling the bade free. He drew it around and slashed the third across the chest. He stumbled in a splut of bray. What is bray? Maybe it's a spray? In a stunted spray? Maybe. He stumbled in a stunted spray and fell to the ground with a thud. And the loner drew his weapon and spun, pointing it back at the bandit chief. Chief? I was just a leader a minute ago. Whatever, Daniel. All right. You're next. Doesn't have to be this way, though. You see, this blade's a little rusty. Then why was it gleaming? If I cut you, you might get tetanus. Oh, if you guys could see my face right now. Anyway, right, let's pick back up. If it cuts you, it could give you tetanus. And so he rushed at the bandit head and quickly found a dagger coming at his throat. Wow, Bandit was pretty accurate. It carved across his chest as he leaned back, his sword going flying to the wayside. Blood, for the first time, ran down through the collar of his cloak into the leather that was beneath. I assume he's wearing leather armor? We didn't describe that, though, his brown hair waving as he came to a stop. Quickly, he noticed his disarmed predicament and ran in with a punch. Okay. The first blow was blocked, the second was grabbed, and he was kneed in the stomach before being punched in the face and thrown to the ground. The loner was kicked and kicked and kicked, and then brutally kicked again to the wayside. Okay, so I either don't know fight choreography, or I really like just saying he was kicked and kicked and kicked. I mean, that's an effective way of doing it, but you're in trouble now, son, the bandit chief said, drawing the dagger back to his hand. He didn't put it away. He wasn't the one fist fighting. And he came down for a stab. The loner quickly rolled out of the way, slightly out of breath, confused and beaten. He looked up and went, "No, you're the one in trouble," before kicking the bandit chief in the knee. As he fell down to one knee, a second kick came around it, locking his feet around the bandit's head, before twisting and throwing the bandit to the ground. In that moment, he got up, grabbing his sword and jabbing it into the chest of the bandit chief. Wouldn't they? Okay. The sword was over. Daniel, forget about it, okay? This is 11-year-old Daniel. This is so cringe. And then he drew it free and slid it back into its sheath on his right side. Didn't he draw it from his... He's a right... Okay. Before pulling his hood back over his head. You really got me, but that's okay. I'm going now. I have other things to do than dealing with bandits like you. And the loner began his trek again. And he trekked for 3 more days. And 3 more after that. And then he finally saw it. The large walled gates of In-A-Round. So, first chapter was roughly 3.5 pages with a few misses here and there. And honestly, I have no idea how to feel about this. I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this video, so it doesn't really matter. But, yikes. My storytelling here is not the best. But if you want to hear more, like the adventures in In-A-Round, there's like, I don't know, 20 more pages of this. I don't know how I divided the chapters after that. I just found this book again not too long ago. I used the main framework of it. The second book, rather. Yeah, I wrote 2 books. They're both called The Loner, but the second book was the basis for my D&D world. I think I wrote that in my first year of high school, because this must have took me a little while to write, which is kind of hilarious. So if you guys want to hear more about this loner character, just let me know. Or if you want to hear my secondhand embarrassment even more, let me know. Thanks for watching.